Welcome to T Prep Talk, where you're going to hear my story, you're going to hear my guest's story, so it can help you make your story. And today we have a special guest. He's on the leaderboard for squat, bench.
Bench.
We haven't hit deadlift yet, right?
Not yet.
I haven't seen you do a deadlift.
It's
But
not that great.
he's earned his spot on the podcast by earning his spot on the leaderboard. And his numbers are continuously going up. He's a member here at T Prep Gym. And Gibson, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself, who you are, what you're about, your political leanings. I'm playing. Just
Want to
who
get
you
into
are.
that already?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I'm Gibson Hawk. I'm new to Texas. Moved here back in February with my wife and son. Found T Prep right away. I actually called you before I moved here. I was doing a week in Dallas with my company before I relocated and was looking for a gym. This was the first place I found. I live in Aubrey that was close. I remember giving you my body weight and my height. You're like, damn, shouldn't you be playing football? I said, I know, you're lying to me, but this guy's a salesman, so I'm going to come to this gym. But yeah, signed up. I've been here for a year now. I've been as consistent as I can be, but Tino's given me a lot of good advice, so helped my numbers go up a lot higher than I thought.
No, man, I think you could pass for like an NFL linebacker. He's like 6'2",
Yeah, 6'2",
6'2", at least 220,
250.
250. Dude, that's a linebacker.
245, 250. Yeah,
Hey,
I got a little weight on me.
You got Google on that? Let's search up the top linebacker in the NFL and see what his height and weight is. I guarantee you it's going to be close to Gibson's.
Hey, I know we're in Texas. It might be blasphemy, but I never played football a day in my life. Yeah, my mom was a little overprotective.
Yeah.
Let me wrestle, but wouldn't let me play football.
Oh, so you did wrestle?
I wrestled, yeah,
How
4
was
years. That was how was that?
Yeah.
It was good. I started when I was 14. Wrestled 3 solid years varsity, or 2 years, 3 years varsity in high school, but only I wasn't that great. But a little Catholic school, it was good. I just have a lot of unnecessary injuries from it.
Yeah, I mean wrestling's good, even for day-to-day life. Having that skill, takedowns, that's very effective.
Double leg takedown, baby. I can't tell you how many times that got me out of trouble in college.
Yeah.
Never had to throw a punch. Never had to worry about that.
Just
Quick
takedown.
double leg takedown, control the situation. Yeah.
But you followed me on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and I seen on Facebook you were a lot slimmer.
Yes.
Before. And when did you start putting on weight?
Dude, I graduated high school, as I'm 29, folks. This is a long time ago, but when I was 18, when I was 18, I was about 170, got up to about 185 in college. My first year out of college, I bumped up to about 205, but went back down. And so I was walking at 185 until I was probably around 25 years old.
Yeah,
And then,
185 is pretty light.
Yeah, and I've been this tall since high school, so
Okay.
I was very lean, and then my metabolism just hit a brick wall when I
Yeah.
was 25, and I didn't lift for a long time. So when I got back in the gym, I got on the scale, I was 230 fat, didn't like that, and so I made my goal, hit the gym consistent, bump up to 250, and then cut down from there and see what I look like. So
Yeah.
I've at least hit half the goal.
Yeah, that's entirely correct. I mean, if you were all the way to 25 years old, you were 185, and then all of a sudden you just started putting on some weight,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, you definitely had a fast metabolism, and now you are. It looks like you're easily putting on muscle now. Putting on muscle.
I think so.
That's good.
Yep.
That's what sometimes having a slow metabolism is better than having a fast metabolism, as far in the lifting area, because you need to build fat, build muscle, and all these things. And if your body's just using up all the energy that you put into your body, which is food,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be very difficult to build the muscle and build the size. Even I wouldn't say bodybuilders because they're to the extreme,
Yep.
but power lifters and big individuals, they got a higher fat percentage. I would say in the 18s, 20s, right?
We need that fuel.
Yeah, you need the
know?
fuel, and if you're not on any steroids or any enhancements, that comes with being big naturally. Is the fat percentage,
Yep.
higher fat percentage. So that's good to see there. And honestly, what really got me thinking about putting you on the podcast is you're giving birth. Well, you're not you giving birth, but you.
I was present at least. You know?
Yeah, you're there. But you are welcoming 2 twins.
Yes. Yeah. So they were born on November 17th. 2 boys.
2 boys.
2 boys. Yeah.
Nice.
I have he'll be 16 months on the 16th. 16-month-old son. Trip, named him after me. He's the third.
Yeah.
Looks nothing like me. Little blonde hair, blue eye, looks like a surfer, man. Looks like California boy. Okay. And then, yeah, we just had twin boys. It's funny, we were here maybe 3 months and found out we were pregnant, and I've always wanted twin boys.
Yeah.
And my wife and I were joking right before the confirmation of pregnancy, visit to the doctor, like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we had twins? And no history on my side, no history on her side. It's, ha, 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 so funny. And then lo and behold, we get in there, and they bring in a second nurse for a second opinion. Like, yeah, you're having twins. Buckle up, Buttercup. So
yeah,
we thought we had all the stuff ready to go, and had to double up on everything. So it was interesting.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. Like, just imagine, like, you're having a kid. You already got a 2-year-old, right? 2 or 3-year-old.
16 months. Yeah.
16 months.
Yeah.
And then you're like expecting one child, and bam, you got 2 child coming.
And we have no family out here. You know, we moved out to Texas, just kind of not on a whim, but we had always wanted to live here. Mostly just because of all the great things we've heard. You know, the lifestyle kind of aligns with a lot of our beliefs and our core principles, so we wanted to come out to Texas and finally got the opportunity, you know, with this new company of mine, and immediately get pregnant with twins, so makes things interesting.
That's good. They're going to be Texas natives.
That's what I'm saying.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, man, I love it.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm going to break it to my firstborn son that he's a Yankee from Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to wait till he's old enough to understand. You know, I don't want to break his little heart.
Break his heart.
I thought I was a cowboy.
That's funny. Yeah, man.
But dude,
you're raising 3 boys.
3 boys, and a big reason why I wanted to get back in the gym is because my first son, Trip, was huge. He was 9 pounds 2 ounces, 22 inches when he was born. Just a giant baby, very fat baby, and he was heavy. And I was having a hard time holding him for very long, and it was embarrassing because I'm a big guy. I always took very good care of my physique, and my physique had just completely gone down the toilet basically. I was weak, like I'd cramp up, my flexibility was awful, just completely let myself go, and I didn't realize it until it was like I felt it was too late. And I'm holding my son. I was like, I don't want him to have a soft, like beta type dad, honestly. I wanted to be the big, strong, tough dad that I had and that a lot of my friends had. And so I got back into the gym. Then we moved out here, and I immediately signed up with T-Prep, and I've taken it pretty serious. You know, I'm out here at up to 6 days a week now. So safe to say I can hold my son comfortably, but also I'm closer to the physique that I want my son to grow up emulating.
Yeah, and you bring a journal in here.
I do. Yep.
You keep track of everything, and that's one of the best ways to hit any kind of goals that you have in the fitness area, is being organized and having structured in a path that you're creating towards your goal. Because fitness is an experiment. And whatever you're doing now, you're going to end up plateauing, and then you got to see what you got to do to hit the next level. And honestly, that's kind of like in every aspect of life, right? You're going to get thrown a new challenge at you, and the previous work that you've been doing, the previous skills that you've been building aren't enough anymore. Right. And honestly, that's the truth about being a human and also being a man in this world is continuously growing. So it's good to see that you're keeping track of your lifts. Do you remember what your squat was before?
Before I started?
No, like, before you started.
Shoot, so I really didn't squat at all.
Yeah.
I've always bench pressed. I'm a meathead, so like every dude in the gym bench presses. I've always done that, but I didn't squat at all, and I didn't deadlift at all.
Yeah.
So when I started squatting here, I probably hadn't done it since I was like 20 years old, maybe. Yeah. And so I was just doing one plate, and I had a lot of hip flexibility issues because I live pretty sedentary. So just being able to get any kind of proper depth was difficult. Yeah. So I started on one plate. Now my working set is body weight, so I do 245. My max is 301. So 3 plates is my next goal, which is not too far off. But I started off pretty weak on squat. I didn't know like form, none of that. But I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I asked you for a lot of advice. Yeah. And then I learned how to brace properly, and from there my numbers have started to go up.
Yeah, bracing is important.
Brace is very important.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks you just put the belt on and it's to keep from a hernia. I guess it sort of helps with that, but really the goal, the reason or the purpose of the belt is to help you keep the form and to brace against it so you can push harder. Yeah. You learn how to do that, and your strength goes way up.
And sometimes the belt adheres your development of the core because now you're becoming reliant on that belt. So when you're doing that squat, not the bench, deadlift, your core doesn't have to brace itself and
Right.
gain strength because it relies on that belt.
Right.
So it's always good to build your strength without the belt. I know the belt does look cool. Now, when you're going to the extreme with weight, right? You're just trying to hit PRs. Yeah, put a belt on because you're in territory that you haven't been before.
Yep.
And that's the hypeness behind doing a PR, is that you're entering a territory that you're trying to conquer,
Yep.
right? So like the 400s, 300s, 400s, 500s. Are you meant to be there? Right. In your work that you've done leading up to that PR shows if you're doing everything correctly.
No, you're spot on, and I think it's important too to understand. So nowadays, with all of the social media and all of the fitness influencers, I think on average we have a jaded opinion of what a good number actually is.
Yeah.
It's like everybody kind of shakes their head at 225 on bench. When I was coming up, 225 was the goal. 315 was crazy. Nobody even thought about it. Like, that was serious numbers. It still is, but you see all these young guys hitting crazy numbers now online.
Yeah.
People look down on 225, 205, 185. That's still very, very heavy. So I think it's important to work your way slowly up to your goal, but also appreciate the fact that odds are you're throwing up more weight than the average person can.
Yeah.
So
I like to
allowing
see,
yourself to celebrate that a little bit.
Yeah, I like to see the improvements and how the new generations are making everything more competitive, if that makes sense. Because in jiu-jitsu, on our jiu-jitsu podcast that we had with Matthew, he was saying that that black belts 10, 20 years ago are now considered brown belts today, just because how much the game has advanced and improved.
Makes sense.
And that's because people are starting younger, so the lifting is very popular. I used to have 14-year-old members in here lifting and trying to push PRs. It wasn't cool when I was 14. It wasn't that too long ago, but it wasn't cool. We were just working out just for sports. We'll go into the weight room. But now it's become a cool thing because of TikTok and Instagram that people are starting a lot younger. So hitting 225, 315 on squat has become like almost we're getting to the point where it's the baseline.
We're setting the bar.
Yeah, we just said the bar just got set a lot higher.
Well, lifting is in and of itself a sport. It always has been, obviously. But now, like you said, even when I was younger, when I was 14, there was still that wives' tale going around that if you lift too young, it's going to stunt your growth.
Oh yeah,
which is nonsense. We all know that's.
I really don't even know how I feel about that because Eddie Hall has his son doing heavy deadlifts and heavy squats and heavy bench, and he's like 12 or 10.
I think if you're paying attention to form and you've built it up, slowly, and you're under control, I don't see there being I mean, I'm not a doctor by any means. I'm not an exercise physiologist. I don't know for a fact, but I mean, you look back at our ancestors; they were doing pretty crazy stuff at younger ages, and I mean, they things turned out just fine, I would say. So
it's something to think about because it's something with the spine, right? The spine and the pressure on the joints. I still believe I could have been 2 inches taller. Now, look! I had 2 knee surgeries my sophomore year, so I'm like, I don't know if that could have affected. It's a maybe.
Well, think of it this way. People that go off to play in the NFL most of the time started in Pee Wee football.
Yeah.
Basketball started in Young Rec League. Baseball started Babe Ruth Little League. They started the sports young. Football players, on average, do have a lower life expectancy. Pro athletes, typically bigger, stronger, especially the men, large individuals already are more prone to certain issues, heart disease, shorter lifespan, whatever it is, just the nature of being larger. So you get banged up starting at 4 years old playing football up through your entire life. I don't see how that's really different from if you're into weightlifting or any other sport. You start it younger, you're most likely going to have some kind of injuries by the time you're an adult, but that's just the nature of competition.
See, with that statistic, that the bigger the individual is, the shorter the life expectancy. You think that's why we don't see giants anymore?
Could be.
Like,
Goliath.
What kind
of giants you think?
Like David and Goliath, like back
the
in
Nephilim?
in biblical times. Yeah, Nephilim.
Maybe.
Because they were so large that their life expectancy were probably not
This
that
is
long.
good stuff here, folks. We're going to get into some conspiracies.
I'm just
Let's talk about the giants, dude.
Yeah. And I forget which community it is. I think it's the Asian community that they live the longest, or was it?
It might be Okinawa. If you could look that up, so we're not talking out of our rear end here. I think it's the Okinawans have the longest lifespan.
And how big are they?
They're little, but also they never retire. So in old age, they keep their purpose by working jobs to benefit the community. taking care of the gardens, cleaning, whatever it might be, just around keeping the community nice. They retain a purpose to the day they die.
Staying active, and then let's see what size they are, because the size is going to be the determining factor.
The diet too.
Of course.
I think they mostly. I want to say it's like a more of a fish-based diet.
Okay.
I mean, if you ever have like the different kind of Asian foods,
yeah,
how much better you feel.
Sushi.
Oh man.
Yeah, sushi's good.
Compared to eating like the steak and potatoes. I love steak and potatoes, but I need a nap afterwards.
Yeah. Let's see what Adrian pulls up here. Them guys be on the spot, bro. Like,
apparently he went through like a Google search.
Yeah.
Contest or something.
No kidding.
And he was like really good at it. So.
Well, dude, when you're producing the most successful podcast in the world, for how long's he been? It's been over 10 years. He's been doing that.
Wow.
He started at 2013 as a Joe Rogan.
See, so there you go. You got to think that's a lot of practice. We'll get there.
Wait, dude, I've been spilling coffee this whole time.
You got a hole in your lip?
A hole in my lip, or something's wrong with this cup. I'm gonna blame the cup.
If mine's cooled down enough yet.
It's because it shoots back.
So what do you know about Giants here, Tino? You want to bring it up?
No, I was just thinking about the life expectancy there on the Giants. But no, you made a good point that we start off doing some boxers. I almost said boxing, but some kids start off young doing boxing.
I mean, any top tier level pro athlete, with very few exceptions, started when they were 3-4. They usually had a father, grandfather, uncle that had competed professionally. Yeah. That instills. I mean, look at Floyd Mayweather, for instance, prime example.
Yeah.
Then of course you got Deontay Wilder, that I think he started boxing at like 25. Yeah. But he hit so goddamn hard, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, his form isn't. I mean, his technique isn't the most perfect technique.
No, it's power. But he connects one time, he's gonna knock you out cold. And same with Francis Ngannou. He started real late, and now he's.
Did you watch that fight with Tyson?
No, I didn't watch it.
I didn't either. But seeing the highlights, I don't know. I think if you're gonna beat Tyson Fury, then you gotta completely beat him.
My honest opinion, because people are saying arguably he won the fight, whatever. I think Tyson Fury saw this as a cash grab.
Yeah.
He's the current heavyweight king. Yeah. He didn't take Francis Ngannou seriously. And Francis caught him with that punch that we knew he was going to catch him with, and he put him on his butt. I think if Tyson Fury, I could be speaking out of my ass here, but I think now he recognizes that Ngannou can hurt him. Yeah. If they were to do it again, he'd have a proper training camp, because I'm assuming he didn't, and I think he'd mop the floor with him. And I'm a UFC fan. I'm not a boxing fan. Yeah. I'm just speaking honestly here. You got to think, if somebody crosses over into your sport and you're one of the best at it, you're probably not going to train as hard, spend more time with the family, relax.
And I went ahead and started searching up his previous fights, and he always gets knocked down.
Yeah.
And he gets back up and wins.
Deontay Wilder looked like he died.
Yeah.
It's like his soul re-entered his body and he stood up and beat him.
Yeah. Japan.
You see. I'm pretty sure, though, it's the island of Okinawa in particular, where those people live really, really long.
And the island is in Japan?
Yep, it's part of Japan, yep.
Yeah. But as far as strength, man, as far as what determines strong or weak, I had this conversation with the client yesterday. She was a female squatting 95 pounds, right?
Okay.
And she did the squat, and she failed, and then she was beating herself up about it. And she was all like, I'm just weak. I'm just not good at this. And I said, well, what makes you weak? I mean, how much do you weigh? She was like, 130. I'm like, 95 pounds or 130, like you're like 50 pounds away, around there, to hitting your body weight. So comparing yourself to yourself, you're not weak.
Yep.
That's not something you can call yourself. But when you're just starting out strength building, the goal is to lift your body weight, and then after that is to exceed your body weight. And then I feel like what determines your strength is if you can do double the amount of your body weight in lifts. Like I weigh sometimes 200 pounds, sometimes 190. So benching 405 has been like my goal.
Yeah.
If I hit 405, then I can consider myself at my prime. Now, how much do you weigh?
250.
You got
500 pounds.
You got a lot of weight to bench.
I'd have to top the leaderboard on bench by an extra 45.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not from Westside Barbell, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if I get on a little sauce, but I don't know on my own.
Are you planning on getting on some sauce?
Not some sauce. No, I've been looking into TRT.
Yeah,
I guess that's saucy.
a little bit of
you know,
sauce.
A little bit of sauce, but through a doctor.
Yeah, can get lost in the sauce.
Man, I'm thinking about it just because like I was so lazy for so long.
Yeah.
Like I was in phenomenal shape in college. I was strong. I was 185. I could rep 225
Yeah.
back then, and my working set's 225 now. So I do it better now. I have better form now. I'm under more control. But I was very strong for my body weight back then, and I just got so lazy.
Bro, and you already
kinda
got 3
fall
kids.
behind.
You already got 3 kids.
Yeah, I'd done
like,
that, but
you-
I want to get big and strong.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So like you know how it affects the reproductive system a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So like, but you already said like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep. I got 3.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'll do one more.
Oh,
after
you want
that.
4 kids?
I do, yeah.
Man, you gotta keep it even.
Yeah.
Is it because you want a girl?
I want a daughter. Yeah.
man.
But also, I'm an only child. My dad's an only child. My cousins, my aunt had 6 or 7 kids. I should know that off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
I have a lot of cousins, and they have a lot of siblings, and I'm the only child. So I've always
Yeah.
loved the big family.
You're the only child?
I'm an only child, and my dad's an only child.
Wow, you just created 3 more generations.
Bingo. Here's something else that's cool. My dad was adopted. My dad was born in 1943. He's very old. But he was adopted.
43 years old, man.
Yeah. So he was adopted, had me at 50, and I'm his only blood relative that he knows. And now he has 3 grandsons.
Wait. Yeah. I don't know if I heard you correctly. You say you were adopted?
My dad was adopted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm his only blood relative he's ever had.
Yeah.
And I'm his only child.
Yeah.
Right? So, and he's older. And now, he has 3 grandsons. So pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naturally, he loves my wife for giving that to him.
Yeah, like the bloodline continues.
You got it, man. Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah. And,
Safe for
and where are
now.
you from?
I'm from Northern Virginia.
No, I mean like ethnicity.
Ethnicity?
Yeah. Like German,
I'm
Irish.
American.
Oh,
Don't,
okay.
why are you going to do this to me?
Oh, I'm just saying, bro.
Don't treat me differently.
Because I know I
I'm
got
Italian, Playboy. I'm Italian.
Oh, you're Italian?
Big time.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I got some people that they're all like, no, because in the Hispanic community, we got Spain, Dominican Republic, and Venezuela, and Mexican, right? And I talked to some people, on the other side of the spectrum with color in their skin, and how they explain white people. They're like, oh, they're just white. And I'm like, no, you got to pay attention.
I appreciate that.
There's different looks to white people. And
I appreciate
yeah.
that.
There's like the Viking look.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious between some folks too. Like, I'm Southern Italian. I'm only half. The other half, I'm Irish English. It's like, I just look like a white guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you look at a lot of Southern Italians where my family's from, and if you look at my family, like, yeah, they could be on Jersey Shore. They look like a bunch of
really?
Guidos. Yeah. Mediterranean folks, our skin is a little bit darker.
Yeah.
Our complexion's a little bit darker. Our hair is typically a little bit darker.
Hmm.
I have Northern European blood from my dad.
Yeah.
He's the tall one, but you look at my mom, she's 5 feet tall. Looks like a little meatball.
Yeah.
All her sisters are little. Most of my cousins are little.
Little people.
Yeah, little meatball. But yeah, Italians look pretty different from Irish people. Look pretty different from Vikings.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me.
Man, the bloodline, bro. The bloodline. I still got to do the Ancestry.com on myself. But I don't even know if I should trust it.
I
Like,
did
how do you-
23andMe.
Like, how do they know? How do they know?
They just compare it to other DNA.
So is it a hypothesis?
I mean, and any scientific discovery is a hypothesis, but
Because I feel like it's a money grab. Like, oh yeah, we'll tell you.
it could be total BS. But
Yeah.
my mom is 100% Italian, and I'm 50%, so they at least got that side right.
Oh,
Or do you just store your data?
If you give them permission, but I don't even know if you have
They
to
got
give
track
them
of
permission
all of
anymore.
us.
For sure. Dude, you seen how it solved murder cases and it's like screwed up families. They find out their dad's not their dad,
Oh,
and their dad didn't know that he wasn't their dad.
that's the crazy shit. When I
It's
hear
like-
stories like that,
What would you do?
bro, I don't even know.
No, dude, could you imagine worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
You have this kid, you raise him, and then you're just maybe you get divorced and you lose the kid, and you're paying child support, and then 23andMe, the kid's 18, you find out he's not even yours.
There's
What the
stories
fuck?
like that, bro.
Or you went to jail because you couldn't pay child support, and then turns out he
It's-
wasn't
it's
even
not
your kid.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Man, I'm not gonna get in my personal life, but anyways, nah. But I've realized that I am my dad's kid because we both got a lazy eye. And I'm like, all right.
You have a
cool.
lazy eye?
And when I take pictures and I'm like, you pay attention, like one eye is a little lower than the other.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And your sister, she kind of looks. Y'all have the same eyes, all y'all.
She looks like my dad though,
Yeah.
for real. Yeah. But yeah.
And I'm an exact copy of my dad.
Yeah, you look exactly like your
No
dad.
kidding.
What about your dad? You look like your dad.
When he was younger, yeah.
Okay.
There's some pretty cool pictures actually. So my dad was in the army. He was in Korea. When I was college age, my dad was in the Korean occupation.
What wars did he
He
fight
fought in
in?
Vietnam,
Vietnam.
but he served in the occupation of Korea for a
Okay.
little bit
Okay.
when he was really young. Vietnam, he did 2 tours over there. But there's pictures from like when he was in Korea where we stand the same, we have the same facial expressions.
Yeah.
You could just copy and paste. He just had blonde hair. Only
Because
difference.
you never know, man, with the with the women of this generation. You never know, bro. You gotta
Oh,
get
man.
that DNA test, bro. You gotta do it.
All right, let's get ourselves in trouble here. What do you know about hoflation?
Yeah. He brought it up. All right, let's get
Sorry.
started. Anyways, that's why you gotta have an iron mind. You know, as far as a man, and honestly, bro, majority of men's problems come from women, and a lot of wars start from women. And so having an iron mind is very vital as a man.
Yep.
Don't let things get to you.
I think stoicism
Yeah,
is one of the most important fundamental tenets of masculinity.
that's good that you know that, because now you got 3 sons and you're gonna teach them that stuff.
I think nothing bothers me more. I've wanted to be a father my whole life. It's the only thing I've always known I wanted to do, and I wanted to be a young dad.
Yeah.
One, because I wanted to still be young and in my prime when I had my children, but
Yeah.
also I wanted my father to know his grandchildren.
Yeah.
You know, because he is older. But one thing I think that really gets to me now that I have sons in particular is when I see just very soft men
Yeah.
teaching their boys to be very soft.
Yeah.
And it's on the surface it's we're teaching kindness, or we're teaching them to be nice and loving and accepting. All right, well, when the wolves are at the gate,
Yeah.
you need masculine men
100%.
to stand up and fight those wolves off.
100%.
And it's a cliche, but that whole saying where strong men make easy times make weak men make hard times
Yeah.
make strong men. I think in this nation we've had it so easy, generally speaking, for so long that, I mean, things have gotten a lot harder for us.
Yeah.
And when I see people that I know teaching their sons just bullshit, in my opinion,
Yeah.
it's very bothersome to me, because my sons are going to be treated as the crazy ones for believing in traditional masculinity,
Yeah.
when in reality, it's how everybody should believe.
Yeah, like be in touch with your feelings and express how you feel.
Just
na-
to set the record on that, too, nobody wants to see a man cry, for Christ's sake. Women don't even want to see it. They say they want it, and then they hold it against you because it's just gross to them, you know?
Okay. This guy's speaking facts now.
Am I going off too much?
Okay. No, it's true, man. It's true. And it's, I think social media honestly ruined a lot of morals and values, and kind of distorted the truth. And it's trying to push people into thinking that things are true, but they're not true, right? Just like the crying and expressing your feelings and everything like that. Now, I think, like you said, easy times make weak men. Then hard times make.
Yeah, weak men make hard times make strong men.
Yeah. So I think right now, which I tell this to everybody, I think right now we're in a shift where we've all been pushed this narrative, like, oh, show your feelings, or be affectionate and really care and understanding, right? Which there's a limit to all that, but we've done that as men. I can see that as a new generation, right? We're trying to, and then we see it's not working in our way.
Yep.
And then now we're like, okay, this shit is not working. This shit's a lie. This shit
The
is ruining
pendulum is
things.
swinging back.
Yeah, now we're like, okay, we're about to flip the switch. And that's why I think, like, in the next 10 years, all this stuff, like, as far as, like, this woman as a masculine alphas, there's going to be a big switch that's going to happen, because that's not the truth. That was a
It
distorted
disrupts
lie.
the natural order.
Yes, the natural order.
I think, and the pendulum always swings back too far, and that's what is bothersome to me. And that, like I said, stoicism, very important.
Yeah.
There are times and places where men show their feelings, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, we're not robots. You know, we
Yeah.
do feel things, but we express it in different ways. And I think the narrative of men and women are exactly the same. There's no real differences other than what society has told us are differences. It just does everybody a disservice in that
Yeah.
I studied biology. We're complementary.
Yeah.
If men and women were exactly the same in every single way, shape, or form, then we
Yeah.
wouldn't exist separately. It doesn't make sense evolutionarily
Yeah.
speaking. So we are different in ways that complement each other, and we bring out the best in each other when we're honest about those differences. And I think the way that we express ourselves is one of the major differences, obviously, but it's what attracts us to each other.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Oh. Yeah, but what's up though? We're good. We're live.
I just seen if you have like a day rate or something. My gym's closed.
Your gym's closed. What gym you go to?
Just anytime.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, I work all over Texas, so it's just,
Oh yeah.
I'm constantly traveling, so
Yeah. So day pass is $7.
that's fine.
You working out today?
Yeah,
Like literally right now?
yeah. Like I have cash if that's easiest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, I took my pre-workout and I got over there and they're closed, so I'm like,
Oh yeah, what
You
pre-workout?
came to
is
the
it?
right place.
yeah, I know. I remember.
Okay,
It's in
gotcha.
there somewhere.
Yeah.
Um,
Right in the middle of the podcast, we're doing business.
Closing deals.
oh, man, yeah.
No, yeah. So
Good sales.
yeah. You can just give it to him. It's fine. But yeah, you're good, bro. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah.
Just like that, folks. That's how business is done.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Right, we got it on camera. There's evidence that this is this is the legit business. You know, so if I give you any kind of business advice, you just seen it. That's it. Literally just helping people out, being convenient and caring about other people's goals and why they come to you, right? We're getting in a deep conversation over here, trying to revert back to this, but I think we needed this as far as society. Okay, I hate to. He's a big influence. Andrew Tate. You already know.
Oh,
Look,
man.
that's
All
how,
right.
Yeah, this is how big.
Everybody clicked off.
But look at this guy. Look, it's obvious he been through some pain.
Oh yeah.
He talks about it.
It's obvious that he got heartbroken multiple times.
There's videos of it.
Yeah, like it's because even in the political realm, he would be like speaking, like giving his rants, and he was like, and then when a female leaves you, and I'm like, he always reverts to that. So I'm like, what girl
Somebody hurt him.
turned him into this animal, and it needed to happen. We all need to, give thanks to this girl, whoever hurt him, because without that, I don't think he would be where he's at.
Have you
now.
seen those reels about Sam Sulek? It's like, I don't know what she did to him, and it's when he was like just a normal sized guy with the girl.
the guy
and then
who-
it fast forwards, he's friggin' yoked.
The guy who puts the camera and he just kind of like,
Just talks.
yeah, I'm gonna hit chest.
Love that
today,
guy.
And, I feel tight. I don't know. He's
Yeah.
very mellow and just calm and just kind of explains what
And
he's doing.
I don't know if there was a breakup that got him in
Yeah.
the gym, but somebody just took a picture of him when he was younger.
Yeah.
It's just a normal sized guy
Yeah.
with this girl, and it's like whatever she did worked, and then it fast forwards to him just yoked.
Bro, so yeah, we needed this, bro. In what makes
Is that old school term?
yeah. So survival of the fittest
Yeah.
is now your mental capacity for stress. That's survival of the fittest for men nowadays.
Yep.
Because we're all gonna deal through pain, but it's how we use that energy. And it's not about how big and strong you are anymore, because we have guns, we have laws to protect everybody. Now it's, as far as a man and their productivity and their value of a man, it's how can you handle stress. But we all have to go through these pains to become who we want to become. I have my fair share. I'm sure you have your fair share. Adrian, you have your fair share. But it's who we become after this, because survival of the fittest, we see the men who can't handle it and they destroy themselves. They put
And
themselves in a
They
black
bring
hole.
people down with them.
They bring people down with them and just go to a bar on a Monday night.
How sad.
What the hell you doing at a bar on Monday? What the hell you doing at a bar on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? You got work to do. You got to wake up early and be productive.
Or worse, tossing cooking,
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
Saturdays,
It's
Friday
like a
nights.
drip feed.
or like playing video games all day.
Yeah.
That sense of false accomplishment.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I can speak from experience on that. I'm a pretty big gamer, and I used to waste a lot of time
Yeah.
doing things. Like, I spent a good chunk of my 20s trying to figure out sales and just trying to get by. I was a miserable person for a long time because I didn't have any real accomplishment outside, obviously, getting married. That was a big deal for me, but a lot of time wasted sitting around daydreaming and not putting anything into action. And you just wallow away in self-pity thinking like that.
Nipsey Hussle, man. Idle time is your worst enemy.
It's true, man. You got to stay busy.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
I still be playing his music, man.
But no, to your point about sometimes we need that heartbreak.
Yeah.
I think that's where you figure out what you're really made of. You know?
Yes.
Rocky movies, my favorite movie franchise of all time.
Yeah.
Anybody that's watching this that knows me is probably laughing right now, like, I've heard this 1,000 times.
Yeah,
He talks about Rocky
it's
too
not about
much.
how hard you get hit. It's about
Bingo. How hard you can get hit and keep
is
moving
keep
forward. That's how winning is done.
Yeah.
Favorite quote of all time, man. Because it's so true. You know, how many
Yeah.
times are you going to get knocked down in life, and if you stay down there, you're a loser. You know, do
Yeah.
you want to be a loser or do you want to succeed?
In that line, he said something about like, this world is cold and evil and dark, and it can destroy you.
And it's mean, and it'll
Yeah.
beat you down, and it'll keep you down there if you let it.
Yeah, man. Sylvester Stallone is a G.
Yes.
He's a G. Simple as that.
Bro, he sold his dog to make Rocky happen and fought with the studio because they wanted to give him X amount of money to take the script and put somebody, a well-known actor, in the role, and he wouldn't do it. And finally they agreed to let him play Rocky. Took almost no money. Went back to get his dog, and the guy's like, "Oh, you're making Rocky $10,000." So if you see Butt Kiss the dog in those movies, that's his dog.
Yo, this is like a Bible story. You know,
Yeah.
Abraham. This is a Bible story.
Bro, I love Rocky, man. I know way too much about it, but yeah,
You pretty know what he was doing before.
big fan. You know where he got Italian Stallion from?
Yeah.
That's for T-Prep Talk After Dark.
Anyways, it's like the Bible story of Abraham, man, like sacrificing the son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going through these problems, these pains, or whatever, that's your sacrifice. You know, you don't want to move on to the next level, and because you're stuck on this pain, well, you got to sacrifice that to get to where you want to go. And you do sales. I wanted to get into that.
Okay.
Because a lot of people think, and they watch these videos, that sales are like, you know, manipulating people into buying something. No, because you're never going to be successful if somebody walks out of your business or whatever you're doing for sales and they automatically have buyer's remorse.
Right.
You lost business, because a lot of business grows through word of mouth, referrals. So treating people right and actually helping them get to where they want to go. Now, I'm going to give you my philosophies on sales, and then you can kind of counter it if you feel like. But
Different perspectives.
I think sales is about asking questions. I think it's about figuring out what exactly is the right plan for you. Because I offer 3 different things here. I offer membership, also personal training, and then also classes. So I'm asking questions to see what exactly fits you. And then, of course, I have to ask, do you even lift weights? Like, do you even lift? You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, and you want to get on cardio machines and you want to use machines, then you can go across the street. Because I'm not trying to get you to come here, then exercise here, and feel like you're not getting your money's worth because you're looking for something else. And then now I got a bad review. Now I got, I lost out on, you getting a referral because you're unhappy. So I feel like sales isn't about persuading and manipulating. I think it's about helping people in their and it's basically guiding. I'm just a middleman, guiding you into the right decision for you, the best decision for you. So having your best interest in people, I think, is what makes you a good salesman.
I agree. Honestly, you hit most of my points right on the head. What I would say, asking questions is important. I think people have this negative connotation of sales folks because, one, everybody's dealt with a sleazy salesman. It's a job that you don't need prerequisites to get into most of the time. You can go sell used cars at a used car lot with no education whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on people that do that. It's just there's a very low cost of entry for sales. So naturally, you have more people going into sales because you can make a lot of money doing it, right? So there's high risk, high reward, especially in the roles that are pure commission. You might see that a little bit more. I work in managed services and IT staffing and recruiting. So I can find people to get work done for you. I can find you contractors. I can find you full-time employees. I can build out a team. I can help you strategize. I can help you plan for budget. I can help you with a proposal that you can go take to your boss to get budget for the next year to then build out a team with me later. I can do a lot of different stuff. The crux of what I do, though, is asking questions, just like you said. There's an old term, ABC, always be closing. That probably has
Always be
never
close.
been true, but it was probably pushed the most in the 80s.
Yeah.
If you're constantly closing deals, you're probably not building long-term relationships. So when I get in front of people, the first couple of times I'm chatting with them, I'm really honestly just trying to get to know you because I'm genuinely interested, for one, but also I want you to trust me. So I'm going to tell you about my personal life. I want to know about your personal life.
Yeah.
We can talk about our kids, what you like to do on the weekends. Shoot, if you like to camp and I like to camp, we'll go camping together. No strings
shit.
attached. I just want to get to know you
Yeah.
first because, of course, I want to work with you and I would like to make some money working with you, right? But I'm feeling you out as a customer just as much as you're feeling me out as a salesman because you want a good product, but I want a good customer.
Yeah.
So if our values don't align, right, I don't necessarily want to do business with you. I'm fine stepping away. Maybe somebody else would be a better fit for you. So that's how I look at it, because there is a difference between good business and bad business, and being able to understand that, I think, separates the good salespeople from the average.
Yeah. Sales and business, man, is so interesting because that's American culture. Like that's the new culture is business and sales, and it's so interesting to me because it's not about just it's not simple anymore.
No.
It's not. You know,
And,
like you had people buy land and they build their own house and you know they cook their own food and make their and grow their own food and all that. And now we're all worried about sales and business and offering services and building communities. It's just different.
Dude, and one thing I love about working in sales is everybody thinks they know all about sales.
Yeah.
So whenever
God.
whenever I hang out with buddies I haven't seen in a while, they're giving me tips and advice. Like, yeah,
Yes,
dude,
man,
please tell me how to close more business. You know what I mean? Shoot, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Bro,
it's fun.
I got these people. Now I don't have any names because it happens so often. They're just like telling me how to make my gym better, right? Or
let me guess, because they lift weights sometimes.
Yeah,
so they know how to run a gym.
And like what I should be doing and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I am I own a gym. I'm 24/7 thinking about the gym. You don't think whatever you just told me I've thought about. This is what.
And I think I try to look at the bright side. Like I think people in that situation mean most of the time. They mean the best out of it. You know, they want to help you. Yeah. But it is funny sometimes when, I mean, you've had this gym for a few years now.
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
It's obvious you know what you're doing. You run a tight ship. So that would be kind of funny. I had a buddy of mine whose girlfriend got a sales job. This is years ago. And I was still working in scientific sales. I sold research consumables for a while, for about 3 years. It's like plastic tubes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I sold the hell out of some pipettes. That was my bread and butter.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. And she got a sales job that moved her up to Northern Virginia. And she was all excited. You know, I'm going to make so much money. I'm going into sales. I'm like, cool. I've been a salesman for 3 years at this point.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about it. You know, I'll let you know if she hadn't accepted yet, if it's a good idea. And it was a canvassing job at Costco for a third-party reseller of a particular cell phone provider's service.
Okay.
So if you ever go to Costco or a big box store, they'll have representatives that will try to sign you up for plans, and it's usually at a discounted rate.
Yeah.
So she doesn't work for the provider. She works for a third party that's hired by the provider to get more business, basically. Pure commission, 7 days a week. You work whenever you want, but if you're not working, you're not going to make money. And it was very closely resembling a Ponzi scheme, what she was getting involved in. Yeah. And I told her, I was like, you know, it doesn't sound like the best career path. I'm just going to throw that out there. You've got a college degree. I can hook you up with a real sales job if you want, but it's not, oh, no, I know this, I know that, knew everything about sales. She comes back 3 months later, left that job. She's like, yeah, you were right. That was nonsense.
Now,
hey, what do I know?
Yes, it is good to be open-minded when it comes to, you know, growth. But you have to look at the source of information. If somebody owns a gym and they previously owned gyms or whatever, they're a fitness trainer or they're in the fitness sales or they're even in sales for years plus, then I would consider some advice in that area. But, yeah, somebody who, like I always ask myself this question whenever the people are giving me advice, and it goes, what have they done? Right. What do they do? Okay, yeah, they can't help me here. I mean, because they're probably just seeing things from the surface level. And you got to be in the industry. Now, you do sales, so you work with people. So if you were telling me, you know, and of course, as a customer here at T-Prep, if you're telling me customers are your best advice givers to how to make your business better because they're in the business with
They're
you.
consuming your product.
Yeah,
Yep.
so okay, yes, yeah. So you're telling me, oh, Tino, you should probably add this, you probably add that. Like I take all that stuff in consideration. Like the power tower,
Yep.
I've really been considering that because you work out here, so you know the route, the transitions to each machines and stuff. And you're like, what would be good here is a power tower.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. I can probably do that. Yeah. So being open-minded is very vital for growth. I kind of lost my train of thought there.
You're talking about taking advice from people that
Yeah.
have done it. So my
yeah.
brother-in-law, I'll give a shout out Derek Comer, my brother-in-law. He gave me a great piece of advice years ago. He's a little bit older than me, tough guy, and big time hunter, outdoorsman. I'm really buttering you up here, buddy. But but anyway, he gave me a great piece of advice, and it's as simple as like don't ever take advice from somebody that hasn't done it already.
Yeah.
So if you're buying a house, don't talk to somebody that's never bought a house before.
You bought a house?
I bought a condo back in Northern Virginia.
Oh yeah.
That's a story for another day. Wouldn't recommend.
Oh really?
Listen, okay.
Okay. We got 5 minutes.
Short and sweet. If you have the choice, don't buy anything where you're tied to other people. Townhome, condo is worse because you share a bunch of walls and a lot of stuff out of your control. Would not recommend. If you don't have another option, obviously, like we couldn't afford anything else.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but you run a lot of risks if you share walls with people.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, having neighbors, I feel like is a problem too. I've seen videos of fighting over fence lines.
Dude.
Oh yeah. Well, Gibson, it was a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, sir.
Reach over there. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll continue to be consistent as best as we can. We'll get more guests, and I hope you got something out of today's episodes. Gibson gave a lot of good advice. We got some good lifting advice in here. We got some good sales advice in here and life. So the only way you're going to get something out of it is if you pay attention. And Gibson, if you want to give a closer.
Yeah, just thanks for having me. It's I love the sound of my own voice, so I was excited to hear you want to bring me on the podcast. But yeah, I guess any closing advice I could give is if you're going to set a goal for yourself and you really want to achieve it, just take it seriously. Do your research. If you want to get strong, focus on your diet, focus on your hydration, your supplementation. Bring a journal and make sure you lift a little bit heavier every time you come in. And before you know it, you're going to accomplish your goals. That goes for anything in life. But as soon as you start taking it serious and holding yourself accountable, that's when you'll really start to achieve great things.
I love it. Take care, guys. See y'all next time.